Hello and welcome to another Yarndale Make Along with Emma. Today I'm going to be talking about the Yarndale Summer Socks. So we're talking more socks. It's more talking, less actual knitting today, because all the actually how to do it is in the Talking Socks, the 10 steps videos. So if you're new to knitting socks, have a look at those in more detail. Each step is really explained. And we've been blown away actually with how many people have said they've always wanted to knit socks, they've never quite managed it, and they found videos really useful. So trust me, socks, amazing project. Don't be daunted as a new knitter, because actually you learn all the little techniques that you need, and a sock is a lot quicker and easier to knit than a scarf, I'd say, or a jumper. Okay, you'll soon have warm, cozy toes. So in the brochure this year we've got a new pattern. I say it's new, it's not really, because it's an abbreviated pattern almost of the original Talking Socks that we've got on the website and on YouTube. And this is summer socks, so they're a bit easier to make because actually you haven't got the cuff. You start on the ankle, you cast on, and you knit, so there's no ribbing, so you haven't got any purling to start with. You knit about 8 rows. Okay, so I've got a couple of colour stripes on the Tristan here, so I've knitted the orange and the brown, and then I've started my heel. So the only purling on the summer socks is actually on the heel, on this bit, and the rest of it is knitting. Okay, you've got some decreases, but the rest of it is just knitting, so much quicker than a sock with a long leg and a cuff, and I think they're rather cute actually. So let's talk about what we need for knitting socks. So most of the sock that I knit on a small circular needle. Now I've got lots of different makes. I've got just lots of different makes. Find the one that you like best, but these are small. They're either 23 or 25 centimetre. And they're perfect. So I've got one here that I've started. This is my second Barbara sock. So you can see I've done the ankle part. I've actually done my heel and I've done my heel turn, but I've got my circular needle there ready to put it back on there and knit that. So I use circular needles for most of my knitting. Okay. There are one or two bits where you can't easily use a circular. 15 centimetre double pointed needles, and the summer socks actually uses 2.75, so that's the one difference between that and the original Talking Socks. It's a slightly tighter sock, and to give it that tighter knit, I'm using 2.75. Depends very much on your tension, but 2.75 actually is probably, I'm quite a loose knitter, so probably use 2.75 even for some of the other socks. So 3 or 2.75, but I would recommend 2.75 for the summer socks. So if you're going to knit the summer socks, the pattern is on the website and it's in the brochure for you, so you can download that and have a look at that. There are 9 steps rather than the 10 in the original Talking Socks, but the steps are the same apart from the very start, where instead of doing that ribbing, like I say, you're just knitting. So actually that's easier. That's just like the leg part 3 of the original Talking Socks. So we've talked needles, so you need small circulars and double points. You're also going to need stitch markers. These are rather cute. These are available in the Gather if you're at Yarndale. Helen will have these in her shop with her cards. So you'll need some stitch markers, and you'll need some scissors for snipping, okay, and some wool. We use our West Yorkshire Spinners signature 4-ply. This is Barbara. We've got Tristan and Hope. Now the smallest size of the socks has been knitted in Tristan. So this is about a size, I would say 3 to 4, that's a UK size. And then we've got Barbara, which is probably UK 5 to 6. And then Hope, which is the third size, is UK 7 to 8. If you want to make it bigger, you just need to add more. So if you've got somebody with bigger feet than 7 to 8, you need to add more length to the actual foot part. So that's quite easy to do. So we've got some rather lovely little summer socks, great for trainers, and you can get quite a few of these out of a ball of wool, so perfect present as well if you're looking for things to make for Christmas or for birthdays. So this sock here, I've started this one. So I've done my part 1, which is cast on. Part 2, those first 8 rows, which is the ankle. Part 3 is the heel flap. That's the back of the heel. Okay, and that's where you go backwards and forwards, which is why I've been using my double pointed needle there. Then part 4 is a bit of magic, pure magic, sock magic, is the actual heel turn, where it just becomes a sock, and every time I do it I find it completely amazing. After that, you then pick up your stitches, and I knit back onto my small circular needle. And you need to, that's the point where you will need to use stitch markers. Okay, you need to mark either side of the heel so that you know where you're doing your decreases. So you're decreasing back down. You can see along here, look, these are your decreases. So you have a stitch marker along here to show you where your actual decrease is going to be, so you get a nice neat line and they're not all a bit wonky. So use those there, and then knitting in the round all the way around until we get down to our toes, and then we're using stitch markers again. We're decreasing down to our toes, and when it gets too tight for your small circular needle, that's when you need to go back onto your double points. Okay, and then you finish off with your Kitchener stitch. So the pattern actually has got 3 different sizes actually throughout the pattern, so you need to check which size you're doing and stick with that number of stitches. So they're in different colours, so hopefully it's easy for you to see, and I look forward to seeing lots of summer socks. Happy knitting.